You can? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little laggy. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever done this Google Hangout thing.
Yeah. I think it should work. If it doesn't work, do you think Facebook would be
Can you
easier?
hear me?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear
you're
you.
welcome. No problem.
Okay.
The, yeah, how do you? Either one. Seems like there's like a delay.
Yeah, I think there's a delay. You want to try Facebook? I'm going to try calling you on Facebook. I'm sorry, I just made you download
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think it's working. Justin Finn. Ooh, that's annoying. That is an annoying sound. Oh, much better.
Yeah. Is this better?
Yes, definitely. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I can hear you fine. It's kind of in live too.
Yes, yeah, perfect. All right. So thank you so much for doing this. It's pretty brief,
No, you're
just
welcome.
general questions about your job. So if you could just start with who you are, a bit about you and what you do for a living, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Who I am? Justin Finn is who I am, and what I do for a living. I'm an investment advisor. So I help people manage their investments in the wonderful stock market, especially right now. Um, it says requesting video. I'm not sure if I can. I can still. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you should be good. I don't. I
Yeah.
can see
So
you fine.
that's kind of the most basic thing. So the majority of my business I've been building has been for professional baseball players when we get
Right.
drafted out of college or high school, and they get a large sum of money, and then they need to do something with it. So we put together a budget, and then we put it in the market and diversify it across different stocks and bonds, and then put together how much income they're going to try to need on a monthly basis, and then try to get a return off of that money. So just example, say somebody has a say it's $100,000 just to make the math simple, and they need to take $5,000 a year. Well, that would be 5% of the money. So they would try to put them into some sort of investments that we could at least get the 5%. Okay, so we at least get the, we maintain the principal of the money, but then they can take out the interest or the return that is earning.
Right.
And then I also help a lot of local people too that they retire. So say they retired and
Nice.
they have a 401k, roll into an IRA. Same type of thing. So really, a client of mine, they come to me with a goal, and whatever their goal is their goal. And we try to I try to either say, okay, that goal is realistic. It's maybe unrealistic, or you need to save some more money, or maybe think about taking less money. Or if you do want to do this, you might have to take on more risk to get more of a return. So it's kind of an individual thing from a person to person of what they're looking to achieve, but how we go about getting that, how we go about achieving the goal is through money, is through the stock market or bonds and
Right.
stuff like that.
So you're like a middleman for people and their financial goals in not just the stock market, but like retiring and
Yeah,
setting up accounts and things like that that will earn savings and interest. And that's awesome. And you specialize now with professional baseball players, right? Or are they like minor leagues?
yes,
Or?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. All my guys right now, they're young. I mean, they're super young. I've
Right.
got about 8 clients, and there's different stages of the minors, and a couple of them are really big prospects. One's a very big prospect with the Milwaukee Brewers, and I would expect in the next probably 2 years he'll probably be playing in the big leagues. And then a couple other guys with the Twins and the Marlins and stuff like that. And then, we'll see what happens. But I got a pretty good draft class that will be drafted in June. But a lot of this stuff is kind of up in the air and what's going to happen.
That's so cool. So you almost like have an idea of who's going to make it before everyone else too in Major League Baseball because you've been following them the whole time. And
yeah,
that's a really cool
exactly.
journey.
I mean, I know a lot of, especially the guys that you're going to be hearing about in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
When you think of like the Mookie Betts and all those guys, right? There's a whole crop of them that are coming up, and so it is. Yeah, it's neat to kind of see them play a little bit before they actually become big time stars.
That's so cool. So did you always want to do this? Did you go to college for this career, or how did that journey work?
No, I wanted to run in the Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
The Sydney Olympics. But I've always loved sports, and I had to do something. I wasn't going to go to the Olympics, so I had to figure out what I was going to do.
Right.
And I was in a program at the Portsmouth Rotary Club through the high school. Met my mentor Ed Mallon in the investment world, and I graduated Portsmouth High School 2000. And the deal with Ed was he was going to give me a paid summer internship at the firm, Secure Planning here in Portsmouth. And he said the only deal was I had to start working Monday morning. So that was my summer vacation. I thought I was really going to drink all summer.
It didn't happen.
That's what I planned on doing. Was going to go to UNH. Had got into the Thompson School, the UNH.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't the greatest. Was not the greatest student, but was able to kind of get in there. Went up there. That did not last. I drank, my way out of there. But I was able to go back and keep the job at the investment firm. And I kind of just wanted to make money anyway. I just wanted to work and make money. I was done with school at that point. So that then led me into the investment world and started mentorship. And I've always, even in high school, we did this stock picking class with the Boston Globe, and we didn't win, but it exposed me to companies like Coca-Cola and IBM and all these different companies that you could invest money in. If you picked it right, did it right, they would make money, and you didn't have to work. So I thought that was the greatest game in town.
Yeah.
And so I figured, I want to, whatever this is about seems like it could be pretty good. So I had a couple of people come to me, kind of mentors to Rotary, and said, look, we got to figure out what you want to do. And got hooked up with Ed, and the rest is kind of history. Then I started taking my securities exams in 2003 and passed a lot of those, took some night classes, some just basic business night classes. And then recently, last year, I started, it's interesting all this online stuff that's going on now, started doing an online entrepreneurship 2-year program through Stanford.
Nice.
And so I've been doing, I've been doing that as kind of something fun. And as I've been kind of building this brand of my business for the baseball players, I thought it really tied in nicely with what this program that Stanford was offering, and so jumped on board with that. And that's all done virtual like this. It's all, it's you kind of log in and do it that way. But they've been going more to video stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's about it. So really, the journey has been one of just kind of learning how to do it,
right.
The mentorship, actually practicing how to do it, taking the securities exams, and then really practicing. Really, I managed money in 2008. I had clients in 2008 of that whole debacle in the economy, in the world economy, and here we are again. At least financially, facing something pretty significant.
Yeah. So you mentioned the securities exam. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So how
to be an investment advisor, you got to take the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, or FINRA, are different regulatory bodies that put out exams. Basically, if you kind of think of if you're going to go become different professions like a nurse or
I had to take one teaching,
like a master's degree. So it's a very industry specific. It's like if you're going to be a CPA for an accountant. So there's different professional licenses that you got to get, and then you got to continue to do continuing education and all that. So it's kind of a standardized test, and then they say you need to get a 72 or above, and some of them are 300 questions, some of them are like 150. But and you have the booklet, the big book, and they test you just basically on that. So, and then once you pass, and then you got to do, like I said, you do continuing education every like 2 years.
Oh, cool. So, and turn that back into the state. Is that how that works when you continue your education?
Some of this is federal. Some of this is like the SEC is federally, and then some of it is state. But mainly, it's more the SEC, which is a federal regulatory body of the securities world.
Okay.
So it's out of Washington, D.C. So everybody, no matter who you are, no matter if you went to college, you didn't go to college, everybody has to take the same exams.
Okay.
So it's a very much a uniform exam. Everybody has to take the same stuff. Everybody has the same type of grade they got to pass. And so that is, from that standpoint, it is very uniform.
So could you not go to college and become a financial advisor, technically?
I don't have a college degree.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit different now. After 2008, some things changed.
Right.
But prior, so like when I was in 03, the normal way you would go about becoming an advisor or a stockbroker or these different things are all kind of different exams. But you would get a job for an investment firm. The investment firm would sponsor you because you need a sponsor. So you have to be sponsored by a SEC firm or a FINRA sponsored firm. So it has to be a legit securities place that gets audited. We get audited by the SEC and by the state and FINRA and these different regulatory boards. But anyway, what am I saying? So you get the job with the firm, and then they would sponsor you to go take the exam, and then once you took the exam, you were fine. So the traditional track was obviously to get a job with an investment firm, you had to have a college degree.
Right.
I mean, that was just the way kind of it was. I kind of went a different route, which is kind of the way it is now, but a little bit more. But I went the route of didn't go to college. I got the job with a sponsored firm, and then once all you have to do is just have a job with a sponsored firm, you could take it.
Okay. Good to know.
It's now a little bit different. They want you to, sometimes, I think a lot of times the way it's going is they want you to at least have a 4-year degree now.
Okay.
But I'm grandfathered in because I've been licensed now I've been licensed since 2003. So.
Right. So it's different for you than it might be for my students if they went to go pursue a job like this, is what you're saying.
With your students, they probably, again, it's,
just feel it out, might be different.
Bit,
yeah.
But.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's good to know because I do have a lot of students who, are interested in money, but school and college, like not an interest of theirs. So this would be really cool. And then, so we went over your schooling or your track to get certified, your job, what you do. What kind of hours do you work? So you work for yourself, right? Did you always work for yourself? I guess that first.
I've always been sponsored. So I'm 1099, so completely self-employed. Okay. And then what I do is that, no matter who you are, you got to broker your business through a firm, normally a bigger firm.
Oh.
And that is, so I'm still associated with Secure Planning. So I'm FinWealth Advisors, but, the broker-dealer in the registered investment advisory firm is Secure Planning. So I broker the business through there. So for that, my pay cut, I give them 25% and I get 75% as a payout. But then that helps cover compliance costs. It helps cover other kind of back office costs. It doesn't cover my office expenses here in my office downtown where I am. But, all this other stuff I pay out of my own expenses. But as I grow and grow and grow, I could go, it's no different if you work for Merrill Lynch or UBS or whatever. Those companies clear through themselves. I'm an independent, so Secure Planning is an independent broker-dealer and registered investment advisory firm. So we can, we have independent advisors for the firm that work for the firm, but they have kind of their outside businesses, outside offices, own type of clients, stuff like that. So there's the independent channel versus kind of the more captured channel, which would be if you work for like a big wirehouse, a big brokerage. the Wells Fargo's, Merrill Lynch, UBS, Morgan Stanley. There's not one right way to do it, but say if you work for them, you get a much lower payout. So you get about 40% at, say, a Merrill or a Morgan Stanley, but they say it is, we have a built-in referral network, so it's easier to get clients and all this other stuff. So it's just all about what you want to do. If you want to work for yourself and you want to build something, then you go the independent route. If you rather be an employee, because if you work for, say, Morgan Stanley, Wells, any of them, you're W-2. Okay, so right. You're an employee. You're an actual employee of the firm. My business is all my business. My clients are my business, or my clients. So that I just have a contract now with Secure Planning, and if I wanted to go to, say, a Commonwealth or an LPL or whatever, I could do. I can always take my business, go wherever I
want. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Anyways, that's awesome. So, did you always do that, or what did you do before this? Were you always working in this field, or did you have a different career?
No, it's the only thing I've ever done. So I started working for Secure Planning when I was 18, turned 19, and then I've been a part of them for the last 20 years.
Very cool. Okay.
So in some capacity. So I started as an intern, and then I learned the back office of the business. So I learned about compliance. I learned about commissions and payroll. I learned about admin, just basic office administrative work. And then I started taking exams, and then I started learning about markets and putting together portfolios and working with clients. And that's always really what I wanted to do within the business. But I really started, literally started back when things weren't as digital. Basically just filing papers in the conference room of statements that would come in. So we get quarterly statements that would come in, and we'd have to update those statements because everything wasn't online.
Right.
As weird as that is, but nothing, you couldn't just log on and see your account.
Right.
Everything that was sent to you was sent by paper. Mm-hmm. And so to get the clients' updated accounts, that was really part of my job. Quarterly statements would come in, and I would make sure that all the accurate information was in their files.
You really worked your way up.
Yeah, no, literally, and I took out the trash and all that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was just a progression of learning, building, learning. And that's why I can have my own office and run my own business, because that's how I learn.
You can't trade stocks yourself, though, right? That would be insider trading, or is that? Oh no,
I can trade.
You can trade too.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So a lot of the stuff that I hold, my clients hold too.
Very cool.
Now I can't. No, it has to be disclosed. So you got to disclose everything, and I'm not on the board of directors, or I'm not a CEO of a publicly traded company. I don't own more than 10%. Even the companies that I do own.
Yeah.
My clients, we have a lot of CVS and Bristol Myers and Disney, Boeing. A lot of these companies that have been killed lately, but they're very good companies. But I don't own any more than 10% for them. So it's only when you start, if you're on a board or kind of an insider, and then you're giving information about what quarterly numbers are going to be and stuff like that,
like predictions.
That's when you can get in trouble for insider trading. But no, just if my client has Disney and I own Disney, it doesn't matter.
Interesting. What kind of hours do you working for yourself? Do you get to decide, or is it kind of based around how do you work that out?
Yeah, I decide, but really I try to keep it to at least the market hours. So the market opens at 9:30. Market opens at 9:30 in the morning and it closes at 4. So I certainly want to be around for that. So clients are looking to get a distribution of money, or they want to give me some money, or I'm going to make some trades or whatever. So I try to always be around the office open during the market, which means typically closed, always closed on the weekends because the market's not open. That doesn't mean I'm not working.
Right.
I certainly work, I put in hours, and some of it's hours at night listening to conference calls of quarterly conference calls of what companies are projecting into the future, especially ones that we own or ones that I'm thinking about buying, because get to know the information about that. So, those calls sometimes are an hour or so, and then I like to read the transcript. So I listen to the call, and then I go back and I read the transcript of the call. And then a lot of it too, I'm looking at this stuff as marketing and building, so I'm doing all that.
Right.
Paying my bills, so like stuff, Microsoft, the TurboTax thing, that I enter for all that. So, part of it is, some of my time I'm getting caught up on making sure, bills and checks and all this stuff are going out. So it's really quite, I do a lot of different things within the business. And
right.
then I've hired somebody part-time, so she's come on, which is good. And she's going to be, helping more on the social media end of it, because that's certainly an important part. But so those are, it really is everything from trading accounts to meeting with clients to prospecting for clients and marketing and paying the bills and, still take the trash out.
Do you do your own accounting, or do you hire an accountant for that?
No, right now I've still been doing it all.
Wow.
Next year it's something I'll probably finally just give up, because it's starting to get a little bit more complex. So as the business has grown and as there's more deductions and as there's more revenue in and all that stuff, it becomes it becomes a little time consuming. And I just say,
absolutely,
pay somebody else and let them do it.
Yeah.
Plus, they're an expert at it. I know it, but I'm not an expert at it.
Right. And it gives you more time to be an expert at what you do. You know what I mean? Time is money, and
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about your job?
Favorite part's the people. Yeah, it's easy. The people. Yeah, love my clients. Love them, and get to see them succeed, and
right.
they share what's going on in their life, and especially the baseball guys, because they're young, and the way they look at the world is completely different, and get to be on a baseball field in different parts of the country, the place I'd never go. Would never ever go, and a place like Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and Monroe, Louisiana, and, Alabama, and Colorado Springs, and just all kinds of places that just would never ever probably in a million years go there.
The experience of
and then you get to see where they're from and kind of their how they live, and the experiences that kind of shape them, and you just all that cool stuff. So
that's so awesome. What's your least favorite part of your job then?
Least favorite paperwork.
Right.
There's a lot of paperwork. So that is that's the least favorite.
Yeah.
The paperwork.
Is a lot of it online now, or is it actual paper?
Well, no, it's paper. You still got to fill out the stuff. Some of it you can populate, but you still got to sit down and have the client sign it and this and that, and then you got to scan it. So some of it is a lot more electronic.
Yeah.
Than it used to be, but some of it still is. It's paperwork, and you got to have your own internal paperwork for the company, and then the account applications that get sent out. And so there's just a lot of different paperwork that you're dealing with. So it's kind of like it's almost like people come in, it's like, Jesus, like I'm signing another mortgage. But so much of it is it's not it's just based around regulation. There's so much regulation. So you got to sign a piece of paper for this, sign a piece of paper for that.
Right. So lastly, what advice would you give to someone just starting off in this field?
What advice? Well, let's see. If there's always something new. Okay, the market it's always changing. So you got to learn to deal with change. So it isn't one of these things where you're going to kind of come in and, this is your set schedule and job, and I'm going to do this, and then that's it. That's not what this is about. And, a lot of times if my clients want to meet on they want to meet on Tuesday at 7:00 at night, well, we meet at Tuesday at 7:00 at night. If they want to meet on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, well, we meet on a Saturday or Sunday morning. So it's not a typical kind of schedule, right? Even from that standpoint. But the other standpoint is things are always changing. because we're dealing with an economy, and you're dealing with not just a domestic economy, but a global economy, as we're seeing. Um, that has a lot of different moving parts to it always, even when things are going good.
Right.
There's always a lot of just so many parts that are constantly in motion.
Right. You have to be willing to adapt.
Yeah. And so if the information changes, then you have to be willing to change.
Very cool.
And that's another piece that I like about it, because I'm kind of ADD. Right. So it's kind of, for me, I like that, and I like that action. And then you got to be able to withstand when times go bad and clients are losing money, and you got to be reassuring to say, look, this is the plan, and I think the plan is still good. And so that's a part of it too. So if in the down times, you got to be willing to stomach that. Your accounts may go down too.
Yeah. Does your job require a lot of math skills too?
No. I mean, addition, subtraction,
percentages.
It's percentages. Division, multiplication. I mean, that's
basic.
Nothing a calculator can't do.
Okay, true. Yeah.
Or Excel spreadsheet that you just put in stuff and it calculates. So, no, the math stuff isn't. We're not putting anybody on the moon.
Is there anything they can start to do now? Maybe to put them on a path to this, or I know.
I think read. I mean, read. The one thing that's the only thing that saved me through all this, I always enjoyed to read. For whatever reason, I kind of hated school, but I loved books, and I still love books. So I would just say read. Get some books. The Intelligent Investor is a good book. A Random Walk Down Wall Street's a good book. There's some kind of classic books, fundamental books that teach you about the markets and investing, and so that's kind of where I would start. Is pick up a couple books, start reading a little bit, and then from there see if there's a passion. Read the Wall Street Journal. I mean, that's a great resource to kind of just get started a little bit. So you can learn about businesses and companies there, and if it, then you can start to look at, Yahoo Finance or any of that stuff. You can follow along, with the markets and different stocks and stuff like that. But so much of it is reading. I mean, it really is. Yeah. I mean, a lot of what I do is I spend my time reading, whether it's different business articles or newspapers or about companies with conference calls and understanding their financials and all that stuff. But that all comes in time. You learn all that, but really it is, for me anyway, I think I would say start with doing some reading and see if it's something that that you find interesting.
That's good to know that it requires a lot of reading. That's something you might not think of off the bat.
I would say, honestly, this business, this career, this profession, job, requires way more willingness to read than math.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. So everybody thinks about the math angle of it. We got computers and everything else that kind of take care of that stuff now. So, but what, we don't have computers that will read for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will comprehend, that we just look at them and just, it's in our head, So that's the stuff that you got to kind of go out. And then you got to be kind of a creative. Some of it's being creative a little bit and putting together stuff in your head that says, kind of a story, putting together stories and say, okay, yeah, you know what? Disney Plus looks really good because they now have, Disney Plus and they want to compete against Netflix and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So you can start to, put together, kind of stories of what you're reading and say, geez, does this make sense to invest in for the, for the long run? Mm-hmm. And that's how I invest. I don't day trade or nothing is short term. So when we go into something, it's with a purpose, and it's because the story's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, think of Facebook, right? I mean, when Facebook first came out years ago, it IPO'd. I remember I bought Facebook at the IPO, and it opened at like 42, went to like 48, and then eventually went down for years to like $20. And then it's finally, just recently was up around $200. So, but you could always see the story of Facebook, right? Even in the beginning, you could tell, hey, okay, this is this is going to be kind of a powerful place where people are going to get information, share information.
Wow. So you never sold through any of that. You stuck through with Facebook.
I bought more. I sold. When did I sell Facebook? I did sell Facebook about maybe a year and a half ago to go into some other stuff. But I sold it at, I think, about 175, somewhere in that area. But yeah, I made some good money off it. I mean, I made some good money off, a lot of different investments. But
staying
Facebook was
the course, and that must be really stressful when it's not doing so well. Being like, stay, because you only lose money if you sell, right? So.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so you can look, like you, my clients right now, accounts that are down and stuff like that. You look at it and it's down, but you only lose if you sell. If you sell, you lose. Now, same thing when the accounts are up. I mean, you look, I got all this money. Well, you do, but not unless you sell either. So, either side. If it's up, sometimes you got to ring the cash register when it's up and say, I'm taking my money. And other times, if you still believe in the story of the company, you buy more when it's down.
Interesting.
And those are the times then when they come up. You look at Boeing right now at like $102, was literally a year ago at $450. So you can make you say it gets back there at some point, you make 4.5 times your money.
Oh, that would freak me out.
So 10,000.
Yeah.
Be turned 45,000.
Wow. So cool. Well, thank you so much.
I mean, but so those are but that's the stuff that that's out there. Look for it. So.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. And whatever else you need from me, just always willing to help out any way I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin.
Can you hear me?
I think it's lagging out right now. Yeah, I can hear you though.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.